Hello and welcome back to a DeVlog, and I am introducing you to a new band to me. Not such a new band if you're from the Bristol area, I gather, but Epimetheus are here with us today.
There you go.
And they're going to be talking to me about their new album, Perseus 9, which is out on the 6th of February. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. And don't worry, you're not the first person to have mispronounced the name. In fact, if I had £1 for every time somebody did, we'd be touring the world by now.
More importantly, you got it right in your second swing. So
there you go. That's the one.
I've actually been practicing, and I fall over words quite a lot anyway. So there you go. So it's just like, I love this record, and as does my editor. It's been doing the rounds between us. We're all big fans of Doom and Stoner vibes and all of that. And you had me hooked on the sleeve when I saw the sleeve, because it's like this 1970s kind of sci-fi thing going on there.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be a concept behind this album. Is there a concept behind this album?
Not a hard one, no.
A theme?
A consistent theme, yes.
Yeah, it's all very science fiction influence. That's what we're really into as a group of people who happen to also make music. There isn't one consistent narrative, but when I wrote a lot of the lyrics for the album, we all chipped in, but I think I primarily wrote a lot of them. I wanted to write about things that were quite personal, but not in a sort of emo band way. I wanted to use science fiction as like a vehicle for sort of talking about things that were quite personal to me in a more oblique way.
Sure, yeah. I mean, science fiction has been used as a tool to sort of make political statements and make personal statements throughout. It seems to be what it seems to have with the foundations of it almost, you know?
Yeah. The risk of sounding lofty. I think science fiction played that very human steer. And that as a platform is immediately something that people will rally around.
Yeah.
Dystopian literature is never just a future world that is unpleasant. It is usually also a commentary on something very relevant to the people that it's aimed at and the author that it comes from.
Absolutely.
It's perfect for what Ben was going for. It does give that canvas.
Absolutely. And science fiction famously has predicted quite a lot of stuff that's actually come true. So, so aside from the sci-fi stuff, which I could do chapter and verse on all night because I'm a massive nerd, but the sound of the record is what's really grabbing us. Now, I understand that Killian, who's not here today, the guitarist guy, is a big tone freak. He's very much into his tones and stuff. Now, I want to dig deep on that. As I said to you before this, James, I'm a guitarist and a producer, so I'm quite interested to know where these tones came from. Was there a load of vintage gear or pedals?
I think there might have even been some homemade gear.
And so
even cooler.
So yes, Killian is the biggest tone nerd in the band. I'm sure they won't mind me saying that. And through being friends with them for many years and through playing together, I have also become something of a tone nerd. Not quite as heavily into it, but I've learned quite a lot of stuff from osmosis just through talking to Killian about pedals and amps and all of these things. And yes, Killian is also a bit of a whiz when it comes to setting up guitars and building pedals. So the guitar that Killian plays on this record, they built themselves using I don't know if it is an actual Fender Jazzmaster body or whether it is a knockoff one, but bolted to that is a baritone aluminium neck.
Nice.
So that we can tune to drop F, or the guitar indeed can tune to drop F. But not have to have 5 million strings on the instrument, which is sort of the baritone neck is really useful for that, to play a guitar that still has 6 strings and tune it to that extreme low end. And so
it's heavy enough to quite easily murder someone with.
Yeah, it's true. It is. Although you'd probably want the body to be. It would be better to hit somebody with the body. We digress. Currently, the live. We basically wanted the record to sound on record like when we play it live, and so currently the live setup is Killian plays through an Orange Super Crush 100, which we prefer because that amp is solid state, but it's one that a lot of shoegaze bands like Slow Crush, who we really like, use because it offers more versatility than a valve head when it comes to clean tones.
Yeah,
and so we used to run an Orange valve head through for the guitar, but that you never really had a very good clean sound out of it. It would always sound a little bit muddy, and so the Super Crush is really, really good for the clean tones. And so we do quite a lot of switching between the two. Killian's a really versatile player that likes to do whatever is possible to come out of the instrument. Killian will try, and so that solid state head has done us really well in terms of bass. So one interesting thing about the band is that we play in different tunings, the guitar and the bass. So I'm in C standard, Killian's in drop F, and I play Ibanez Sound Gear basses because I like the neck on them because I don't have very big hands. It's just easy to play, but they come active, and I don't want batteries anywhere near my live setup. I hate batteries. It's just something to go wrong. So Killian, as soon as I buy these basses, Killian rewires them, rips out the electronics that I've spent the 350 quid on the guitar for, rewires it so they're passive, don't need a battery, and then I'm currently playing through an Obi-Wan 500, which, ironically, I want exactly the opposite. I don't want that to be versatile at all. I just want it to be loud.
Yeah.
Because while I'm singing, I don't want to be doing too much with pedals. I don't want to be fiddling with I don't want to be fiddling with knobs. And so I just need it to be loud, and I need to do, that's the one job that I need it to do, so I can focus on singing. I was going to say something else about the tones. Well, yeah, a lot of Killian's pedals they build themselves.
That's incredible. That's very cool, and by doing that, you assure that you have your own sound because it's literally built by you.
Luckily, with the guitar sound in mind, every single aspect of how the record sounds, Killian has calculated down to a T. And then and also with the bass sounding that Killian has told me exactly which pedals I need to buy and then set the board up for me. It's really nice being into guitars and being into how they sound and having Killian as a friend because I don't have to do very much. I just
I think you may be getting the impression that Killian is a very good value member.
Yes, very, very much so. In fact, yes, in fact, I could do with some Killian advice, clearly. Right, now another thing that is startlingly cool about this record is the fact that you recorded it in practice rooms, and it has this incredible jam room feel to it, which is a thing that Clutch famously did on their jam room record, which we all know Clutch are amazing.
Which Clutch record is that?
It's actually Jam Room.
Oh, it's called Jam Room.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that was like the late 90s, early 2000s.
It was, yeah. It's one of the earlier ones.
I think it was immediately before Neil Fallon learned how to sing.
So
one of the final records they made before they made that big push towards the mainstream with Blast Tyrant.
What happened? Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's Clutch. We'll talk about you instead.
Yeah.
But yes, so you recorded in various practice rooms and then mixed it down and then now this, ladies and gentlemen, is what you do. You get a really good mastering job. So you honestly, the amount of bands that take a sonic shit on all their hard work by not getting good mastering.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that comes through with this, and I've got to shout out Rarely Enable on this one, because Rarely Enable are one of my most trusted allies in PR. If it comes through them, it's getting listened to several times before I even think about talking about it, because I trust them implicitly. So when a like sort of doomy stoner kind of thing came through from them, I'm like, this isn't your usual. This isn't. I'm used to getting like Mongolian throat singing or something like this off them, but this came through, and I'm like, all right, give this your full attention. And I'm damn right that jam room sort of vibe of it really comes off. It makes it feel so live. So what did that look like? Did you all just play together?
Yeah, it was recorded live in the studio.
That's it.
We were all. It was a little room. James, maybe you want to talk about a bit more. I've been hogging it.
Yeah. So because I mean, most of the stuff you were talking about is gear related. But I guess I'll come back to a bit lyrical on this because one of the an unsung hero of the record is my good mate Stan, because we have tried the live room recording. I mean, we succeeded in the live room recording previously, but it was so much work for Killian because they were setting up the mics, they were setting up the play and pause on the recording itself. They were doing all the little shimmies and jimmies that go with that process.
Yeah.
And my mate Stan, who studied at Leeds, funny enough, because you're in Leeds. I can't remember the name of the uni, but he did kind of like sound recording or sound mastering, or
that would have been Beckett.
It was Leeds Beckett, yeah. And he's been a friend of mine since I was like 5 years old, and so just offered. He was like, "Well, why don't I help you guys out?" And we spent a weekend, probably close to 10 or 12 hours on a Saturday and a Sunday, just getting the drums, the bass, and the bulk of the guitar down, to then with the intention of overlaying the vocals and the solos. And certain songs were pretty much perfect first time. I think the title track was
first time we played it.
One take.
Nice.
A couple of other tracks were probably more traumatizing, because obviously if one person makes a mistake, you then have to go back to the start.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe do a little bit of cutting here and there, but cutting on a single instrument track is quite easy.
Mm.
Cutting and splicing on a 3 instrumental gets a hell of a lot less easy. So that at times is a painful process.
Mm.
But it gives. We wanted there to be a little bit of sound bleed. We wanted minor mistakes. We wanted there to be little intricacies, and that it makes me sound lofty, and I don't want this to come off in the wrong way. But someone pointed out to me that if you actually listen to the Beatles, there are tons of mistakes.
Oh, loads.
And so that I'm at risk of saying that I'm comparing us to the Beatles, which I'm not. But at the risk of getting even loftier, I think in modern times, when, let's be honest, perfection is quite easy to achieve with the tools that you have now. And certainly with the rise of AI, who knows what that's going to do to the recording process. I mean, you could probably just play an absolute cruncher and then press a button and it does what it's meant to sound like. I think more and more people are going to, if they're not ready, they're going to yearn for something a bit more human, something a bit perfect, something a bit gnarly.
Yeah, I'm already seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm already seeing a big swing back to people just want like human stuff, like really human, warts and all. Like,
Yeah,
and I think it kind of ties into our aesthetic in terms of our live performances. That's the key for us. It's performing live, and I think that a lot of metal bands these days are too obsessed with, being on the click, playing to the click. Everything has to be exactly perfect. I'm not that interested if a band is perfect or they're tight to the click. What I want and what I value in a live band is the band being together as a unit. It doesn't matter if they're perfect as long as the band is operating as one, and if one person goes somewhere, the other people in the band know to go with them. That's what I value, and that's what I wanted to be really present on this record. And I think it is.
And let's be very, very, very clear. It's not because we can't play to a click track.
I can't play to it.
Oh, that's actually you can.
Me. I need me. Not because I can't. It's because I won't.
Won't.
to be honest with you, I produced a country music record and I insisted there was no click on it just because it was just really rootsy. And the thing is, the best gigs I've ever seen have always been the ones where it feels like the wheels are going to fall off any minute. The ones where it's just plug in, let's go. And they're the most chaotic, the most vibrant and alive. And they're an experience, you know what I mean? If it's the same carbon copy set every single night, because it's all to click, all the lights are on click, everything's MIDI, it's like, well,
why are we?
It's so safe. Might as well listen to the album. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, well, exactly. And I think, I to digress slightly, I saw a obituary in Testament recently. In Testament, went all direct, were clearly playing to a click. They played really well, but it sounded quiet and it sounded safe.
Yeah.
Obituary came on and they had a wall of Marshall washing machines.
That's
it. And it sounded loud, it sounded nasty, and it warts and all, it just grabbed you. And that's what I really want.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like Obituary, but I want that vibe.
And your term, the best gigs have been the ones where it feels like the wheels are going to come off. That is so close to what I like. And the track where we do that particularly is in Terraform. It all breaks down and starts to build again. When we do that live, it's anyone's guess how we go. It really, really is. And that's fun.
That's the magic. That's when you get the little sparks of stuff. It's like, did you see them the other day? Because they did this thing that was totally different.
Yeah.
And I think that the clues in the word, it's live. So it's meant to be very risky. It's meant to be unsafe. So,
well, it kind of doing things like that, particularly in the section of the track Terraform that James is talking about, like it kind of almost lets us swap roles at times in the band, not literally swap instruments, but in that particular section where it descends into chaos a bit, the main rhythm keeping instrument is the bass, because James is doing these crazy jazzy flicky drum fills, and it's sort of almost like break beats at a point that he's playing. Killian is doing this. I'm not sure that they've ever played the same solo twice, because why would you? And the only thing that is like the thing that's anchoring it is the bass. There's other points in the live set and on the record where, because Killian's got the drop F tuning and I'm in C standard, so actually the tunings are not that far apart from each other anyway. A lot of the time I'm playing in a higher register than Killian is. And so, you've got the bass ostensibly being the bass instrument, but playing higher than the guitar. And it's all sort of, we like to swap it around and keep it feeling fresh.
Yeah. Now, do you think that you're from Bristol, right? Yeah. So Bristol, such a rich musical heritage in Bristol. I love the town. I look forward to going there every year for Arctangent. It's fabulous. Now, I understand you've played a lot of sort of multi-genre bills and stuff. Did that play into the way that you play? Like, have you taken like little bits of inspiration? Yeah.
Not so much in terms of taking inspiration from lots of other styles of music, but I think it made us think really carefully about how we write the doom metal, stoner metal, whatever you want to call it, that we write. I think there's a lot of people in Bristol who don't necessarily listen to metal, but are open to, if they hear something that is good and that is unique, they're there for it. And so we were playing a lot of shows where we were the heaviest band, and we wanted to write doom metal songs in such a way that people who would be like, what's this? Would remain in the room. Which made us, think very carefully about how we structure the songs, the emphasis that we put on the groove, creating an atmosphere. I think the thing for us that actually means we don't work that well on like really heavy, really extreme metal bills is that our music is really heavy, but it's not aggressive. But when we're trying to find our way in a scene that is quite multi-genre, I think that was a really important tool in our armory to be like, well, okay, this is really heavy, but it isn't aggressive, and it is very groove based.
Yeah.
I think, James, go.
I think a big one is in the vocal choices as well, because I think the thing, and it's going to make it sound like saps, so I really want to be careful not to make it sound like that. But in my opinion, the number one thing that puts non-heavy music fans off of heavy music is the vocals.
Oh yeah,
they can't wrap their heads around screamed vocals. Mm-hmm. I love them. Ben loves them. Killian loves them. But I think also, I think sometimes it is more interesting to have the vocal as an extra melodic instrument. I'm not saying that all scream vocals are melodic, because some of them do it very, very well. But the vast majority is a texture more than it is a melody.
Yeah.
Rich texture. Whereas I guess the decision where we went, right, well, let's not avoid them entirely, but let's focus on more melodic vocals. That's immediately given us a little bit. It's one less thing to put people off something that's outside their comfort zone.
Absolutely.
Of course, there are metal fans out there who will maybe be upset at the lack of screamed vocals, but I doubt that. I think those people probably.
Again, I think people are swinging the other way, because with everything being screamed, it's so nice, especially for me as a journalist, when something comes through and there's been thought and soul put into the vocal. Not saying there isn't any thought put into a scream.
No, again, I don't want to sound disparaging, because I love scream vocals, but I know what you're getting at.
Yeah, but these days especially, there's a band called Matador who I've just recently spoke to, and they do beautiful, clean vocals, and they are just such a breath of fresh air. And they're in a similar vein as you guys. And I for one, miss Chris Cornell. You know,
Yeah.
I miss great singers.
Yeah,
a lot. So yeah, I can only. I mean, that also adds to the appeal very much. So coming up so obviously you got this album coming out. Have you got any live plans coming up that we should know about?
Yeah. So we've got the big one is the launch show for the album, which is going to be the day after it comes out on the 7th of February, which is at the Exchange. A really good independent venue in Bristol. Big shout out to them. They do a lot for the scene. We're playing the newly refurbished basement room that they've got there. They spent quite a lot of money redoing the space that they have underneath the venue. That used to be a little bit of a dingy place to play, but they've kind of hollowed it out a bit more. There's a lot more space there now, and it's a really good place to play. And we've not played there since it's been done up, so we're really excited about that. And then in March, we're going on a little tour with our friends in the band Slump.
Oh,
you may or may not know, but Matt, particularly from Slump, is a really good friend of ours.
Yeah, Matt.
We are doing shows in Leicester, and then in London, and then in Southampton.
Nice. Right. I'm asking everyone this month because it's January, and we're obviously at the beginning of a new year. What dominated your playlist last year? So each of you individually, what do you think was the artist or album you listened to the most last year? And remember, there are no wrong answers.
My Spotify Wrapped this year, for the past 3 years, actually, quite consistently, my top 3 artists have been, in no particular order, Clutch, Deftones, and Mac DeMarco. Which is Mac DeMarco is a bit of a curveball to throw in there. But as soon as the sun comes out every summer, I'm like, right, Mac DeMarco time. But yeah, those 3 have been my top 3 artists for the past few years in different orders. I think number 1 last year was Clutch. And the album that I've been absolutely caning by Clutch is the Beale Street to Oblivion.
Yeah.
Actually, is one. The first time I heard it, I kind of dismissed it, and I don't really know why. And then I came,
bluesy, isn't it? It's
really bluesy. It's more sort of almost rootsy in places. It's the record that Electric Worry's on, but actually I tend to skip over that track now because I've heard it so many times. I'm like, just give me The Devil and Me or that.
That's my favorite on that record.
I love that track. My favorite on the album is Power Player.
Power Player is also my favorite, and it was the album that I kept on pestering Ben to give another listen to because it's been my favorite of theirs for years. because I love that it's a little bit more mainstream. I like that side of them. I don't know. I think they could have been. I don't know. This is because I love them. I think they're a great band. But that songs like Electric Worry could have put them into stadium rock territory. But maybe it's good that they didn't, because that can.
Oh no!
I was going to say, the thing that I love about them is that they could have had that, and they did have that for a while, and then they intentionally pulled back from a bit, but still are able to play the Bristol Beacon. I nearly used its old name, which is a bit of a no-no now. But they can still play. They have intentionally become a cult band, and about them.
I dig that. And speaking of cult bands, a band that's always near the top of my playlists every year is They Might Be Giants.
Oh wow! Okay.
Well, I know it's a little bit unexpected.
But great bands.
I actually saw them live when they came to Bristol, and it was one of the best nights of my life. I was absolutely beaming from start to finish. So they're always at the top of my list. Elliott Smith is always at the top of my list. And an album that year on year, actually I'll mention two, because it's relatively new. I was really, really into Geordie Greep's album, Geordie Greep from Black Midi. And the other album that is always at the top of my list, because I revisit it probably once every 3 or 4 months, is Opposite by Sugar.
Oh wow. Yeah. That's the one Bleed song, isn't it?
What? Bleed, Lethargic, Dancer's
Bastion
System, which I think is one of the best metal songs ever made.
Yeah.
9 minutes of incredible polyrhythm. It really scratches that itch.
Definitely caves your head in. But in a really confusing way.
In the best possible way.
Yes, exactly.
And to speak for Killian quickly, I'm aware that Killian was inside the top 1% of Bell Witch listeners on Tidal.
Yes, I love Bell Witch. I love Bell Witch.
Yeah, they I think maybe, actually no, I think it's better than that. On Tidal, I think they were inside the top 10 Bell Witch listeners globally.
Nice.
So they probably listen to a Bell Witch sort of like 1 or 2 Bell Witch songs.
Yeah, well, that's a good hour.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny actually. I saw Bell Witch. I know this isn't about me, but this is a funny story. I saw Bell Witch at the Brudenell up here in Leeds, and I just went out for a smoke after they finished, and this red-faced girl was screaming at her boyfriend. She's going, "You told me it was a rock concert." It was. It was a sonic bath.
I had a very similar experience at Arctangent, having seen them.
Yeah.
And on the last night, I'd kind of got a bit bored of the silent disco, and I went and had a cigarette on one of the hay bales, which is not actually looking back on it the best place to have a cigarette. But
we all do it.
I didn't set anything on fire. And I struck up a conversation with this guy who was very clearly like a death metal bro, which is an interesting decision why he was at Arctangent anyway. But, we were talking about music as, who did you see that you didn't think was very good? He was like, that band Bell Witch, it was so slow. They were rubbish. I was like, yeah, it was slow. That was the point.
Yeah.
It takes as much skill to play at 60 BPM as it does to play at 260 BPM. It's just a different skill.
The drummer of Bell Witch is incredible, because
I don't know if
obviously he's so slow, but his fills are just like really sort of intricate.
It's metronomic.
Yeah.
I don't know if they set the stage up when you saw them, but like this. But at Arctangent, they were like stood opposite each other.
Yeah.
They did not stop looking at each other for the entire thing. It was kind of like those videos that you see of the White Stripes back in the day.
Yeah.
Where there was this sort of weird sexual tension between Jack and Meg. It was only weird because you thought they were brother and sister. Now they were husband and wife. It's completely understandable.
Sexual tension between husband and wife is weird. There shouldn't be tension.
Oh, there is.
And then, but with Bell Witch, there was a similar kind of almost sexual energy between them. It was really quite something.
I've actually got a photo of the bass player from Bell Witch. His eyes are just like staring like laser beams. They're just, incredible band.
Do people ask you what your takes of the of last year were? What your playlist toppers were?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, tell us
No one
that.
ever asked me. No one ever asked me. Calistal Boys. It was probably
They were
most-
very good at Arctangent.
Yeah, they were. My mate Liam got up to sing with them. That was my sort of motivation album. And then I listened to an ungodly amount of Sun.
Okay.
I listened to it through local anesthetic this year. Yeah, to take my mind off things. I just doused myself in distortion while I was doing it.
It's really good. I mean, I love ambient music for that. I think, and my go-tos are Sun. I really like Life Metal is my favorite.
My favorite. It's my favorite.
And then there's a woman called Callie Malone. She might even be married to Stephen O'Malley or something like that.
I know.
I really like her album, The Sacrificial Code, which is like an hour and 40 minutes of organ drone music. It's unbelievable. And then Brian Eno, Music for Airports. What a great record that is.
Have you heard his last one, Liminal?
No.
With the poetry.
He's doing it with a lady called something Beatty. It's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Eno, he created this shit, man. Eno's the best.
So good.
So, there we go. Also, last question.
Yeah.
We're only going to discuss one band each on this. Who's your tip for the top, aside from your own band, in 2026? Who do you think is going to kick ass in 26?
What, as in smaller bands?
Any band. Any band.
Oh, to pick one
we're
brand.
going to talk about this year?
I'm gonna pick a smaller band, and I'm gonna pick. I've mentioned Slump already. Otherwise, I would have picked them. But so my pick is going to be my favorite band in Bristol right now. Who are called, actually not right now. They've been my favorite band in Bristol that I'm not in forever. They're called Bozos.
Bozos. Nice.
And they're just really good, honest crossover thrash. But the songwriting is really good.
Excellent.
They love the Descendants and stuff like that, and that's how they've learned to write songs really well.
No.
Because a lot of bands like that, like they're energetic and they play well live, but the songs are a bit eh.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are really energetic and they play really well live, and the songs are fantastic.
Awesome.
And they play all the time. They play all over the place. Check them out. They're really good.
Quickly, James, before my clip runs out.
For me, the only band that comes to mind immediately is not really within the realm of the Devolution Mag's genre pickings. It's a band called The New Cut, who are kind of indie post-punky. You like Parquet Courts, you'd like them. Very witty, fast, janky riffs. They're local to Bristol. We did a gig with them once. Didn't do a gig with them again just because our genres don't really overlap.
No.
But I genuinely think they want to watch.
Awesome.
Because I love some of their songs.
That's amazing. Well, everybody needs to check out Epimetheus. Did I do it that time?
Yeah. You nailed it. You nailed it.
In 2026, I think you guys are brilliant. And go and check out Perseus 9 on the 6th of February. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.